Are you ready to listen to my dad Joe and Uncle Justin talk about sports? Now on with the show.
The Joe Mays and J-Raff Show is brought to you by Mays Sandwich Shop, which have been serving the greater West Lawn area delicious food for over 70 years.
So get ready! I mean, get ready! Are you ready for some football?
You are listening to the Joe Mays and J-Raff Show. A weekly podcast about sports since 2011. With a focus on football. Now, here are your hosts, Joe Mays and Justin Raffoff.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Joe Mays and J-Raff Show. And as InSync would say, Justin, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. We're in it. We're right here.
We are. I broke out my Christmas shirt.
Yeah, let me get you up here on the screen. There we go.
Yep.
We've got the Eagles
Philly specials.
Christmas album there, which I believe they threw me for a loop a bit earlier this month, or maybe even in November, where they were pushing what I thought was a fourth album. I was like, I thought they were done, but I think it was just a collection of the first three.
Yeah, and I thought there might have been like a video or something that had or something like that.
They released the plushies, I think, too. So I do have all three on vinyl because I love the mashup of sports and pop culture.
Yes.
Anything, Peanuts, Charlie Brown, Snoopy is great, and it being a holiday, specifically Christmas related, even better. So I'm a sucker for all that kind of stuff.
Right. In the Venn diagram of like the parts that are going to like be, or the interested groups, like sports, Peanuts, Christmas, like you're right in, like you're in the one that's all three circles,
it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's absolutely perfect.
Target audience achieved.
Yeah, you found me. So we are here to talk NFL Week 16. We are getting to the point where we have narrowed the field down for the playoffs pretty substantially. The amazing thing is that there are going to be some good teams left in the NFC not playing come January, or at least the main thick of January, as we know that the Week 18 is the weekend of the I guess. Do they have a Thursday night? They don't have a Thursday night game that week, do they? Because that's New Year's Eve or New Year's Day.
Everybody plays Sunday.
Everyone's on Sunday.
But there'll be a playoff Monday night game again this
year, right? Yeah, I would think so, the way that things have been going. So, yeah, welcome to the show, episode 427, talking NFL. And I do have to apologize to my dad for beating up on him pretty good right now. He's not listening live because he actually has my daughters at Christmas Village with my sister and the family. But I'm here to do the show with Justin, and, well, I'm going to beat my dad in fantasy playoffs and go to the championship again. Third year in the row for me, and it's going to be against Uncle Rich, who we're going to talk about here momentarily because he sent an email to the show. And if you asked my dad at the beginning of the year who he didn't want to see in the championship, it was you, Justin.
Yes.
And me and Uncle Rich.
Right.
So not only is he going to get me versus Uncle Rich, his son versus brother, he's going to lose to me just after his birthday. Happy belated birthday, Dad. And just before Christmas. Merry Christmas, indeed. But that's an interesting one. It's too bad Uncle Rich isn't local here to the Reading area on Christmas so that we could hang out and watch 3 games that could help determine who wins our fantasy championship.
Listen. I mean, it's only fair that your dad's fantasy team, which has Cowboys in the name, much like his favorite football team, the Cowboys, puts up fantastic numbers statistically in the regular season, but just can't get the wins when they matter the most. I
Well,
guess.
I mean, at least his Cowboys have made the conference championship game in the last 30 years. Because now with Dallas out of the playoffs again this year, it's been 3 decades since the Cowboys have done that. I'm one to talk though, because I've never seen the Dolphins was the early 90s. Were they in it against the Bills one of those years?
See,
I can't recall.
I remember the Dolphins being good, but I don't recall any of the real
Dolphins
details.
were very good
So-
when I was growing up,
right.
but they never made the AFC
things I
Championship
remember-
game that I can recall.
Dan Marino's fake spike.
Like,
I remember
against the
that.
Jets.
Yes. And I remember OJ McDuffie playing for the
Yeah.
Dolphins.
Oh yeah. That was a
because
big thing for
one
me.
of my again, one of my early memories of I actually know these Penn State players, and then playing for Miami.
I do not recall McDuffie playing at Penn State. Like, I think the first Penn State season, like full season I remember, is the 94 season.
Okay.
I know I was at a game before then. I was at, I think, Penn State's first Big Ten game. Oh, no. That season, I went to a game, I believe it was against Minnesota, because I remember sitting in the bleachers and rain just pouring down the steps like a waterfall.
Right.
But my dad, I believe, went to the Penn State-Minnesota game in their first Big Ten game. And that would have been 93.
This might have been pre OJ McDuffie. I'm not even sure. But my first Penn State game was against BYU and Ty Detmer.
So that was even earlier.
Right.
That was pre-Big Ten.
And it was a night game. It was just crazy. But I remember the Sakas being quarterbacks.
Tony Saka?
Yeah, I remember some of them being in there too. Because one of them was a backup on the Cardinals, I believe, and that was my first Eagles game, was seeing the Eagles and Cardinals play at the Vet. We were sitting behind the Cardinals bench, and the Eagles held the Cardinals on 3 straight plays from the 1-yard line. Nice. There's a penalty. It's first down now from the 1-yard line, and the Eagles hold them 4 more plays. It was 7 plays from the 1, and they held the Cardinals, and they won something 10-3 in the game. It was one of those kind of games. But
so just rounding out what I was discussing, the Dolphins lost the AFC Championship in the 92 season. So this would have been in January 93, which is right around when I would have started really remembering watching football, because the first Super Bowl I remember watching was Bills Redskins.
I remember that. Yeah.
But that's it. Now, I distinctly remember them losing to the Chargers 22-21. So that's 2 years later in 1994. So this 92 game where they lost to the Bills 29-10 in the AFC Championship may be the first time I remember what happened, because that was a Bills-Cowboys Super Bowl in 93.
I've been corrected. That game was 7-3. The Eagles won.
7-3. Okay, 7-3. So that 92 season is the first full season I remember, because it was the February 92 Super Bowl, Redskins Bills. That is the first NFL game I can recall watching. So in in January of 92, I would have been, I would have been 7. It wouldn't have been 8 until the end of that year. So that's the first game I can remember.
Crazy?
January 26, 1992. Yeah. January 26, 1992 is the first game I can remember watching, which was the Super Bowl that the Redskins beat the Buffalo Bills. No, there we go. I think we've talked about that in the past. So I definitely do remember that 92 season. And I did. So I have gotten to watch my team lose the AFC Championship game. Literally the first full season I ever watched. And literally the only time the Dolphins have been there in my entire life that I can remember. Because I know they were there a few years earlier because they made the Super Bowl when I was born. I was literally a month old when the Dolphins lost to the 49ers in the Super Bowl. So, and they lost the AFC Championship the next year. So that happened while I was alive, but not that I can recall. Not that I can remember. So, why were we talking about? Oh, because I was making fun of my dad when I really have no ground to stand on when it comes to our rooting interest in the NFL. And we all share the burden of our rooting interest in college football.
Yes.
Now, nothing drastic has happened with Penn State, nor really anything new with the Michigan saga. There were some college football playoff games that kind of went, I think, mostly the way people thought, except maybe Oklahoma, Alabama. I thought
I think-
Oklahoma was going to win that.
I think
but-
Miami surprised some people. That A&M.
Oh,
Like,
see,
I
know I'm not a Texas
no,
A&M
I know
guy.
it
so.
surprised me, but like I said to you guys in the text yesterday, man, like 11-0, greatest start ever for Texas A&M football, and then they lose to Texas in their last game. Because of that, they lose on tiebreakers, don't get to play in the SEC championship game, play in the first round of the college football playoff at home and lose. Like, we've talked about this before. Like, it was a great year, and then it's nothing. You know, you didn't win. You didn't even play for a championship.
Right.
You know, like it. That's a tough one. You know, that's a tough one. For them, I don't really care. But
Right,
like,
Makes no difference to
but
me.
like, yeah, it was one. It was interesting that, like, you know, the A&M lineman said he wasn't worried at all about that. They weren't worried at all about that lineman from Miami, and the guy had 3 sacks and just was a force all game.
Might want to
But,
rethink that one.
Texas A&M women's volleyball won 3-0 in the championship today. That was as many points as the football team scored yesterday. So.
Yeah, wasn't great. Wasn't a great day for Texas A&M or really Miami all that much.
No.
But they got the win. Good for them. And yeah, I don't care. Like, college football, as I've gotten older, my attention span for it has dwindled. My available mental space and time to dedicate to watching the immense amount of college football is gone away. So it's pretty much just Penn State and maybe a marquee game here or there. With the way the Penn State season went this year, I can say it's been a while since I've cared this little about college football. So hopefully that comes back next year. I also don't care to partake in the discussions about the college football playoff and expansion and who should and shouldn't have made it. I still think what Notre Dame did is ridiculous. But we said on that show when this all happened a few weeks ago, we understood why Notre Dame was mad, because essentially the committee led them on to think that they were good to go and then pulled the rug out from under. I understand they're upset about that, but you don't react the way they reacted. And also, the two teams that were put in that played each other beat you head to head.
Right.
So like I don't, and then you get into the group of 5 stuff with James Madison and who is the other one? Tulane. I don't know what you want me to say.
Hey, you're going to say teams that got blown out shouldn't be allowed, like, are proof
Tennessee
that they
got
shouldn't be in.
smoked
Tennessee
last
got
year.
smoked last year. Ohio State's gotten smoked in the championship game before. TCU got smoked in the championship game. Like, you have all these different things. Like,
It happens. It's
right,
sports.
it happens. It happened in the first round last year. Like we said, to SEC teams. Like, so, yeah, I don't want to hear it.
I don't want to hear that they don't belong. I think that's ridiculous. And I know Joe Klatt has apologized for a bad take on this, but I think people do want Cinderellas. And that's why I think we should be at a 16-team playoff. That's where we should have been in 2014 when the college football playoff was created. It's just bureaucracy and bullcrap relating to money is taking forever to get there because of contracts and whatever. And the Big Ten and SEC are trying to control things, and none of what's happened in the last 5 years has really been good, I'd say. No. We're getting better in the playoff while, like, finally having a legitimate, this is an actual national champion, because before it was just kind of made up. You thought you knew most years, but there were a lot of years that you really had no idea.
Right.
Literally having the president name a champion.
Before some of the games even took place.
And I don't mean like the president of the NCAA. I mean the president of the United States.
Right.
Oh, so we're getting where on the field finality is close, but how we get there is becoming more and more muddled.
Yeah.
We probably need to see a reduction of one regular season game and an elimination of conference championships. But with the size of conferences, that makes it tough, because if there's auto bids, how do you figure out who is your conference champion? You're going to have weird tiebreakers come into play. You might end up with something like the ACC's going through right now, where you had Duke playing in the conference championship when they were 7-5. because of the weird tiebreakers there. And next year already, the ACC has half their teams playing 9 conference games, half their teams playing 8 conference
They've
games.
also changed their tiebreakers already. Did you see that? They changed it. 2 highest ranked teams will play each other.
Well, there you go. So I don't know.
Imagine if they made it really weird, like the first and third ranked
Yeah,
teams,
not 1 and 2.
Leave 2 just to like leave another team in the mix.
So, all right. Well, we are going to talk NFL, Justin. Well, maybe we should start with that. We'll save the funny business for the end. We'll do 20, 30 minutes on the NFL, and then we'll have some fun with my favorite topic of Christmas. So,
Okay.
holiday, and your favorite topic, movies, which you are the depth of your knowledge for movies is unmatched. Is unmatched.
We talked about a movie this week, not a Christmas movie, but
Die Hard.
No, we were talking about Zootopia too.
That's right, we were.
Which I did not
and
see.
I was
But
astounded.
I was like, you've seen
that
Zootopia?
you saw the first Zootopia.
I'm like, yeah. And of course I
Amazing.
answered it like, of course I have. And
I was
you're
like,
just
that's a weird way for you to say.
right.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
NFL.
So,
Let's start with the email.
yes.
From my uncle. So this is.
I'm a little anxious, having not seen the email, but knowing I took some shots at the Patriots.
Oh yeah,
last
he's got a whole bunch here for you.
It's good to have him back.
So this is from Rich from New England or Florida, depending on how we frame it. My uncle, the Patriots fan, one of our most loyal and interactive listeners that we have for
yes.
sure. I know your dad and my dad like to text us. It's usually my dad complaining about you in some capacity or
Right,
trying to make
right.
fun of you. But here's my uncle. Actually,
Okay.
let me pull up before I get going. I might have missed some. If there is anyone watching live, I don't know how many live listeners we have at the moment. I know my dad's not around, but and Uncle Rich is hit or miss at times when it comes to watching live. So we'll see if we get any comments. I know Adam Ladd sometimes is watching us and leaving us comments. But all right, here we go. So the email from Uncle Rich, Joe and Justin. I'm writing now so that I can watch my surprising Patriots play tonight for the East Division lead. I felt they would be better, but not this good. I know this must upset you both. Yes, it's very upsetting.
He is correct.
So back to Rich. So I was listening to your last show, and several things got my attention. I will start with that you guys don't know that PA is divided between the East and the West. You can't just be an Eagles fan and a Steelers fan. Well, I mean, people in this house have tried that. So it happens. It happens. All right. You next mentioned rivalries and villain, and Justin mentioned my cheating Patriots. When do we drop that and your jealousy for my Patriots? Just a note on Spygate. Eric Mangini was an assistant to Bill Belichick when with the Patriots. I know Bill always pushed the limit to every rule and was caught filming opponent signals, but do you think he was the only one? Did Eric know what was going on before he became the Jets coach? He 100% knew what was going on because that's why he called them out on it.
Right,
he knew
right.
it was happening, so he was like, "Yeah, you're not going to do that to me." Do I think the Patriots are the only one doing that? Probably not, but they got caught. So
I kind of feel like they were.
You think they were the only ones doing that?
To that degree.
To that
Because
degree.
I think, what about it makes me think that they wouldn't have thrown everyone else under the bus too.
Yeah,
Like
you're
I
right.
don't think there's.
If they had
I don't
proof-
think there's honor among thieves
No.
when it comes to the Patriots.
No, well,
Or other
NFL teams
or other NFL teams
and
or
coaches.
professional sports teams.
Right.
At all.
I mean, those coaches get
Look-
spit out and regurgitated
look at-
if they know something.
Look
they're
at the
gonna tell.
Astros. The Astros tried to throw other teams. Well, the Yankees or Red Sox have, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, and you didn't get punished for it either. So
All right. So Rich
the
can
Astros, not the Patriots. The Patriots did get punished for things.
Well, sort of. Not enough. So Rich then says, so what happened for the rest of the season? They went on to a perfect 16-0 regular season and lost the Giants in the Super Bowl, which I'm sure made you all happy. Yes, it did, very much so. One of my favorite Super Bowls ever. Especially with leaving Joey's Dolphins with the only perfect season. Absolutely, you nailed it. No notes on that one. On Deflategate, there were accusations as to Brady's involvement to knowing about taking air to the footballs, which he said he did not. He did select the balls to use during the games, though. Why just check Brady's footballs? I don't even remember all that about the Deflategate was 10 years
Listen,
ago now, wasn't it?
I don't need your facts to ruin my good story.
Well, like obviously something was up. Someone called.
Right.
So was it the Colts? Is
It was
this
the
Colts complaining
it was the Colts
about?
in the AFC Championship game.
Right.
And then Yeah.
raise the banner, right?
Right.
Now back to rivalries and villains. How about adding Aaron Rodgers to the list? Sold. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm good with that.
we also agree.
I have not liked Aaron Rodgers for probably close to a decade now. He was fine the first few years. I felt sorry for him sitting behind Brett Favre, but ever since he started going off on his weird tangents and I hate my family stuff that has been out there for at least 10 years, I was out on Aaron Rodgers and still am, especially over the last, I don't know, 5-6 years. It's gotten really bad.
Always worries me when you let me know just randomly you're
Well,
out on someone.
I did just mention I
Yes,
was
you
out on
did.
someone.
Pablo Torre.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, we'll see about that one. Plus,
You did preface with this isn't based on like any like thing that you're
no,
like,
it's
oh,
just like the more and more I read both stuff that the individuals say or write in this case, and then their interactions on social media, and then other people talking about them, I just something inside of me goes like, I just don't know. I find them phony or I think they're hiding something. And it's happened a lot.
right.
I was
right.
never a Tiger Woods fan, and that was well before anything happened. And then a whole lot happened, and I was just like, oh, okay, yeah. But I don't even remember all the people anymore. It's just like a long list.
Yeah.
Well, Aaron Rodgers was on, Brett Favre.
Brett Favre was on there.
Yeah, I mean, those are two that I disliked well before other people were on board. So, and there's a whole list, and that could be an entire episode of people I've told Justin I don't like or have a bad feeling about, and then usually within like 2 years, the crap hits the fan, and everyone else is like, "Oh, okay, yeah,
you were on
that's
something.
All right. Plus, here we go. This is gonna get you good.
Oh, God.
Plus, I would add Eagles fans to the list, throwing snowballs at Santa and having a judge and sell in their stadium.
Hey,
Hey, don't be drunk when playing Santa.
Yeah,
Don't be a
exactly.
bad Santa.
exactly.
Like literal
Also,
bad Santa.
Bad team, bad owner.
It's just it was
no
was
better.
Rough. It was rough.
No better.
You also had some talk about our fantasy football season. We actually already talked about that tonight. I didn't know that a defensive team could get negative points, which helped me win last week by 0.5. Yeah, we talked about it before the show because who Rich is playing tonight, my cousin Nick, he got, -4 from his defense, the Seahawks, who pretty good defense usually, at least this year for sure. They got minus points because they gave up 37 points and surrendered over 400 or 500 total yards. And in our league, you get dinged for that, and the Seahawks this week against the Rams had -4 points, and last week my sister-in-law Amy lost to Uncle Rich by 0.5 point because her defense struggled as well. This week, this is Rich again. This week I lost my quarterback by concussion and one of my running backs because of an injury. It could now lose to a team that currently has -2 points up from -4 points. Spoiler though, he's not. He's going to win that game. Well, it's not a guarantee, but
It
it's
is
likely.
likely.
It's very likely that Rich is going to win. I had a friend who quit playing fantasy football because he couldn't root for his players going against his Patriots.
Hey, that's fair.
I get that, but I generally can separate that. I don't draft a lot of Dolphins, one, because they've sucked for 25 years, but even so, I don't know. I can kind of separate the two. I still I don't ever root against the Dolphins, but if the Dolphins are playing against a guy I'm also playing against, it's exciting to have both of those things be good.
Yes.
However, also if I'm playing a Dolphin, I'm hoping everyone else scores except that Dolphin.
Yeah.
I still want the Dolphins to win. I just want that Dolphin to play poorly. And like I said, for 25 years, the Dolphins have played very poorly. So that usually works in my favor.
You're picking up guys who are playing against the Dolphins all the time.
One last comment. I also picked the Broncos and the Rams for the Super Bowl, which right now it looks like a pretty stellar selection.
Yes.
He finishes with Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you both, and happy belated birthday to Joey. Thank you. Your favorite Patriots fan? I don't know. Is he my favorite Patriots fan?
He's probably my favorite.
He's probably your
Patriots
favorite
fan.
Patriots fan. Don't know a lot of
I was
them,
going to
huh?
say the list is pretty short.
Pretty short,
so,
but he is your favorite.
yeah.
See, my favorite, I don't know. I mean, he's putting himself up against a lot of other family of his own.
Oh, yes,
so
he is,
like. I don't know
Yeah,
if I
that's
want to go
dangerous
on the.
water
I don't
for
know if
you.
I want to go on the record and say he's my favorite Patriots fan, and I start getting Christine and Rick and Brian and Aunt Diane, and I don't need people yelling at me. So, I do I respect him though? Do I respect him? I don't know. We'll move on. But yes, he says your favorite Patriots fan. I mean, we got to give it to him. He is one of our most loyal listeners and
Absolutely,
writes the most
absolutely.
to our show. So I would probably have to give him a slight edge in that category and call him our favorite Patriots fan for sure. So yes, thank you, Uncle Rich, for the email. Thank you for always listening, and Merry Christmas to you all up in New England.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, let's talk a little bit about Week 16 NFL action now and see where things are at, because there are some interesting evening games happening in the late slate. The Texans currently have gone up on the Raiders 16-14. They're about halfway through the fourth quarter. Steelers are now up by 12 on the Lions, but it's early fourth there. It's 22-10 Pittsburgh.
What's crazy is the Lions' offense has disappeared.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, this week it's disappeared. It's been their defense at times, but like, yeah, is the Steelers' defense for real? They're certainly playing for real the last
But
few
they
weeks.
didn't. A couple weeks ago, they looked terrible.
I agree.
So Falcons-Cardinals, I think, is an irrelevant game. I don't know that it matters much at all, except maybe for tiebreakers well down the list, because neither
it's
Atlanta
one
or
where you could also like lose by winning that game. Like you're
Correct.
hurting your draft potential there.
But Atlanta leads that one 26-16. Then the biggest and most interesting one is Jacksonville at Denver, and the Jaguars are up 14 points, 34-20, and we're under.
And they have the ball.
There's less than 6 minutes to play, so Denver is probably going to lose for the first time since September.
Yeah.
And Jacksonville all of a sudden looks like one of the better teams in the AFC, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So, yeah, why?
You know
Because
who's
some
really
wild
coming through
stuff.
for them is Parker Washington is having a really nice.
Well,
season
and
for them.
their acquisition of Jacoby Myers looks.
that
He
too.
just got a 3-year contract extension.
Yep.
Brenton Strange also
Got a
very good
touchdown today.
provider for Jacksonville. So it's nice to see those Penn Staters there making a contribution. The Parker Washington and Brenton Strange. And I don't know what to say about Trevor Lawrence, Justin. I know last
I'm
week had a
telling you.
ridiculous game.
You're right. I'm telling you, this is his best year. I know they kept saying, like, now again, statistically, he had a crazy game last week, but like yards and all those things, it's not necessarily his most statistically great season. However, like, he and the team are playing really well right now. Yeah, it'll be interesting. And, you know, Texans are in a fight with the Raiders right now.
I don't know what that's
at
about.
home. Indianapolis has to play the Niners tomorrow night. Like, that's
And huge game tonight.
tough one. Yeah.
Uncle Rich's Patriots
Yeah.
against your mom's Ravens.
Yes. And the Patriots, like, are close to locking up the division, but the Ravens need a win. Like, I don't know. I guess.
Yeah, the Bills escaped the Browns today, so they put the pressure on New England.
Right. Ravens' division hopes are quickly
Fading.
However, but what are they, 7-7?
7-7.
They probably
New
need to
England's
win all
11-3.
3 games. To
Probably,
have
yeah.
it, and might need help depending on that. I don't
Possibly.
know, but yeah, it'll be interesting.
So a few of the other games today, I said Buffalo held on to beat Cleveland 23-20. Josh Allen got dinged up though,
Yeah, he did.
so he's lower leg, right,
Yeah, I think it
lower
was his
body.
foot. I think it was something.
Myles Garrett still chasing the sack record with a week to go, or 2 weeks to go, I guess. And he was helped today on a stat correction that gave him half a sack. So
I don't feel bad because Michael Strahan only has
Well,
the record because of that.
also because Brett Favre
Well,
basically
that's what I
laid
meant.
down.
Yeah.
But Cleveland, another lost season for them. They're very bad. Dallas is now down in the tank and looking really bad after sort of a resurgence a few weeks ago. The Chargers doubled them up 34-17. Kansas City without Patrick Mahomes was lifeless. They lost to the Titans, which Tennessee fans are probably not happy about that win.
Right.
Knocking them out of contention maybe for the number 1 pick. They won 26-9 in Tennessee. Speaking of lifeless, my Dolphins looked
Oh my
abysmal,
gosh.
especially in the second half.
Well, and
got blown out by
mentioned
Cincinnati.
You mentioned it in the text today, but also I was like, well, we've also reached that point in the season where, like, yeah, like he might get fired tomorrow.
Well,
like,
right? What like?
you know, like I understand there's that stretch early where like sometimes teams get coaches get fired because they're just off to a bad start and all this stuff. Like, I know it doesn't happen a ton in the NFL, but like there's that time where it happens, and then there's usually a stretch where it doesn't happen. But I feel like we've reached that window now, the last few weeks, where like He could get fired tomorrow.
With 90 seconds to play in the second quarter, so just before halftime, Miami was winning 14-10.
Oh my gosh.
Miami was
the
winning
wheels
90
falling
seconds
off.
before halftime, was winning 14-10. And only a junk touchdown by Jalen Wright with less than 4 minutes to play did Miami make it 45-21. So, not a great showing.
No.
Look, they're looking for something because losing to the Steelers last week ended their season, so it didn't matter. Now they're not playing for anything, and fine. It's time for a reset. They have basically ruined next year already because of Chris Greer's terrible contracts. He tried to
They're
sell.
probably going to win one of these two remaining ones, just because you know it, right? Like
Right.
you know that's going to happen.
Well, they're 6-9, and they need to finish 6-11.
They're going to lose. They're going to win one of these two, and it'll drop them from like the 8th pick to like the 12th pick or something. You like.
You're probably right. It's probably going to happen. But no, it was all just a terrible game all around.
Bad.
Speaking of terrible teams, though, the New York
Oh my
Jets
gosh.
didn't want to be one up and are now still looking for the possibility of having the number one pick themselves. They lost to the Saints.
How about the Saints
who
winning 3 in a row?
all of a sudden not looking so bad, and they
Right.
almost beat the Dolphins
Yeah.
before this streak started.
And again, I don't know that he's your answer long term, but like
Shuck.
Shuck might have shown enough that they're not in the quarterback
Well,
market next year.
if
get,
you ever
get the other things.
If you've ever listened to Greg Cosell, I know he's now this season he was on the Ross Tucker Football Podcast twice a week, but back in the spring leading up to the NFL draft, Tyler Shuck was his number 2 rated quarterback coming into the draft, and then was picked by the Saints, and eventually began to be their starter after they had rolled with Spencer Rattler for a bit. So he might be convincing the staff to roll with him next year and use any draft picks that they have, filling out the roster around him. It's a possibility. I know some teams have done that in the past, and it's gone really poorly, but it definitely makes you
But
wonder.
also, are you sold where they're going to be drafting? Are you sold on a quarterback? Because if you're not, build the other pieces.
Also, spoiler, this year's quarterback class is terrible.
No, it's supposed to be good, and it is not.
It's terrible. Vikings got a victory against the Giants, 16-13. I believe Minnesota was already eliminated from the playoffs though, because of how strong the NFC is. But they're at 7-8 and are fighting to get to 500 and above on the season. Giants, I guess, technically in line for the number 1 pick right now at 2-13.
They're bad.
They are very, very bad.
But it's always interesting when a team with the number 1 draft pick
doesn't need a quarterback. You think maybe? I don't know. Jackson Dart can't stay healthy enough for me.
No, but they're absolutely they have hitched themselves to him already. Like absolutely.
So,
but yeah, has been evaluated for a concussion at a minimum
almost
4 times.
I was
going
to say like every other game,
and he's only played in maybe 2/3 of the games. That's not good.
Speaking of not good, Justin, how about what's going on in Tampa Bay?
Dude,
are they 1-6 in their last 7?
I
something
think I
like
saw
that.
Paul Roberts say they were 6-3 at one point.
They're 1-5 in their last 6. Then, so they lost to the Panthers today. Now the Panthers control their destiny to win the NFC South.
Recurring theme on this show. I'm not a Panthers fan. I'm not a Bryce Young fan. I am happy for Bryce Young with how he was written off so quickly on what was clearly just a terrible team. Like now, he played poorly that first year too. But it was clearly a terrible team. And like you look in there, man, I know there are other candidates, but that guy's got to be up there for Coach of the Year, right? Like
Canales?
Yeah, especially if they can finish this and get in
if
the
they
playoffs.
can win the division, and if they would win a playoff game.
Oh my goodness.
You got to think you'd be up there. I mean, but Sean McVay's going to be there. Mike McDonald is going to be there.
I know.
Mike McDonald?
Mike McDonald, but Ben Johnson.
Ben Johnson? Yeah. Oh, Bears are terrible. Packers are nothing. Like, I have people freaking out that the Bears beat the Packers. Who cares? Both those teams aren't any good. Like, dude, it's Rams, Seahawks.
Dude, how about on Thursday night they talked about they're like if the Seahawks win, which they did, there could be a 3-way 13-4 tie in the NFC West.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So I do want to talk about Rams Seahawks because, well, one, thank you to the Los Angeles Rams for getting me to most likely the fantasy championship because I have not only Matthew Stafford and Kyron Williams, also Puka Nacua, who, if you could just keep your mouth shut for another week.
He's doing his best
Like,
to not
if you
play
could
for you
just,
next week, bud.
Like,
Actually,
reel
he's
it
not.
in.
DK Metcalf one up
Right,
him.
that's it. Reel it in, Puka. Focus on the task at hand. I need you to have another big week in week 17 of the NFL schedule. But so I went to bed when that game was LA up 16?
Yeah, they were up
in the
30
beginning
to-
of the fourth
30 to-
quarter or end of
30
the
to
third.
14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went to bed
With 8 minutes left.
something like that. Yeah. So well,
I went to bed with 9 minutes left.
So where's
Like they had turned it over. I had said to you, I'm like, oh my gosh, like Sam Darnold is back to like playoff Sam Darnold, who couldn't get it done because he looked bad in the first half.
Matthew Stafford? I would think is probably even with the loss, the odds-on favorite for MVP.
Yeah.
I know him and Drake May have been battling.
If Drake May lights it up the last 3 weeks,
Yeah,
and
but
if Stafford falls off,
If Stafford falls off. But Stafford was 29 of 49 for 457 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, no sacks. And they lost.
right, that's hard to do.
But let's look at what Sam Darnold did because it's wild. 270 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and 4 sacks. His QBR was 41.8, and they won.
right,
A huge game from Kenneth Walker, 100 yards and a touchdown. It's good for us, Justin.
hooray.
Jackson Smith and Jigba started slowly, 96 yards and a touchdown. Also good for us, Justin. Did we talk about our Yahoo League on the
We
air?
haven't.
Well, Justin and I do it. We co-coach a team on Yahoo through our buddy Adam's league, and for the first time we've been playing for a long time. Adam took it over after Zach stopped his league, right? For probably about 8 years now, 6, 7, 8 years, something like that.
Something like that.
And I think, and this honestly might have been when it was still Zach's league. We made the championship one time, kind of like Nick this time, where we got hot in the playoffs and we made the championship and lost. But when Adams run this league, we have been terrible.
We've been one of the worst teams.
We've been like bottom 3, maybe even bottom 2, almost every year.
Yeah.
But we are making the championship this year, and probably because we've somehow put blind faith in the Seahawks, especially JSN.
Yeah, he has.
Of course, we got Jonathan Taylor too, who lit it up the first 10 weeks of the season. Right. We have a pretty good team, so we'll see what happens there. But yeah, 38-37, Seahawks over the Rams. Huge Thursday night game. Was it the best Thursday night game, both pregame and postgame in at least Prime Video's Thursday Night Football library?
I can't recall all of them, obviously, but it's got to.
It's got to be up.
It's going to be hard, and not just that, but look at what was on the line. Like the division is possibly on the line.
Right.
The 1 seed is possibly on the line. Like when you add that stuff in, it's got to be up there. It's got to be.
And just a great a fourth quarter comeback, an overtime with the team going for 2, a weird 2-point conversion.
Yes.
But you tell players all the time.
Right.
We tell them that middle school, Justin. I know the high school coaches dwell on it, and you hear college and NFL coaches all the time. Just pick up the football.
And
Just
Zach
pick it up.
Charbonnet did.
And he did, and guess what? He got that 2-point conversion.
Right.
So just wild, a wild game, a wild, weird season in the NFL. I didn't expect the NFC West to have 3 teams that could win 11, 12 games. Just crazy. I've come around on the Seahawks being good. I know the Rams are good. I still don't know what to say about the 49ers, Justin. They're 10-4 and play the Colts on Monday night.
Colts need the win.
Colts need to win badly, and they're going with Phillip Rivers, who almost beat the Seahawks last week.
I think if there is a 3-way 13-4 tie in the NFC West, I think the Niners win the division.
Really?
I think that's what they said on Prime, yeah.
So the 49ers are on a 4-game winning streak. They lost to the Rams on November 9th, but then they beat the Cardinals, Panthers, Browns, and Titans. So those are games they needed to win and did win. Yeah. Carolina probably the diciest of that group, and they got the win and looked pretty good doing it. But Indianapolis has fallen apart after beating and surviving the Falcons in overtime on November 9th. They've now lost 4 in a row. Overtime to the Chiefs, 4 points to the Texans, got blown out by their divisional rival Jacksonville, and then just lost in Seattle by 2 points in Phillip Rivers' return. I even though I don't know what to expect from the 49ers, and I'm kind of surprised that they're 10-4, I still expect them to win this game.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, I agree. Absolutely.
And to go to 11-4.
Right.
Which is just crazy. Just really, really wild. Jags are about to upset the Broncos. They're up by 14 with the ball, 2 minutes to play. Falcons are up by a touchdown with 2 minutes to play, but Arizona does have the ball closing in on midfield. Pittsburgh's up by 5 with the ball, but there's a lot of time left, so Detroit's still in that one. Texans are holding on to a 2-point lead. 2.5 minutes to play, up 23-21. They do have the football, though. So very, very interesting. Do you have anything you want to say about the Eagles-Commanders game?
I was really, really happy that the Eagles handled their business and just didn't drag this out. Because if the Cowboys, I know they lost today, but like it's different when they knew they were eliminated. Like if they knew they were still in it and know that the Eagles are going to Buffalo next week, I didn't want that to become a thing. I didn't want the Eagles to have to win at Washington in the last week of the season. It was ugly in the first half, but like they weren't playing terrible. Honestly, I thought they were playing all right. And then it started clicking a little bit more in the second half, and I thought they played pretty well. And they did this without Lane Johnson and Jalen Carter, and so. Jordan Davis has really stepped up. I think, was it Ross or someone was like the rare 4th year jump? Like he's playing his best season in his 4th year. It took him a little bit, but like he's playing so much better right
Did they already pick up his 5th year option?
I don't know.
I would think so. Otherwise, contract year, that would make sense. But if they picked up the 5th year option, it's not a contract year. And if they trust that his development is true and he can keep performing with a big contract, he'll be getting a contract extension this offseason. Yeah. So are the Eagles trying to fight and stay alive for the 2 seed then? They're chasing the Bears?
I think they're waiting to see what happens. Yes, it would have been better for the Eagles if the Packers won that game because they have the tiebreaker over the Packers. They don't have it over the Bears. I would say if I were them, I would keep going, especially because you have 2 weeks out here yet. You see what happens. If you lose to the Bills, I think any shot at the 2 is then gone. Then I don't really worry about that. Obviously I don't worry about, but like I'm not.
So, but they're probably locked in at the 3. Then they'll stay in front of the NFC South winner, Carolina, maybe Tampa Bay.
So anyway, I think being locked in at the 3, it is what it is. Getting to the 2 would be awesome because in theory you could play that divisional game at home, and if the Rams were to get upset, but think about the Rams could easily be playing the 5 seed, who could be the Niners. Like if the Rams are the 1.
I was going to say I was thinking the Rams were the 5. So.
Sorry, I was thinking of them as the 1, but they could easily be if they were the 1, you could easily have them be playing the Seahawks or the Niners. Could be a rematch in that divisional round, no matter who's there. So it's not out of the question that the 5 seed were to win those games, and then as the 2, you could be hosting the NFC Championship game. That's my longer point there. Getting to the 2 would be awesome because in theory, you win that game. It's not all that crazy that you could be hosting the NFC Championship game, which would be awesome to host instead of having to go somewhere like Seattle.
I know there's still games left to finish and to play right now. So right now, the Seahawks would have the bye. The Bears would be the 2. Philly the 3. Carolina the 4, the Rams 5, 49ers 6, Packers 7.
Right, so in that instance.
So Rams would play the Panthers in the first round right now, right?
Right, and I would think they would be heavily favored, even though they're on the road. And then, is it crazy to think that the Rams would then beat the Seahawks?
So the Eagles would play the 49ers?
And
the Packers would play the Bears.
Right.
Oh, man. So Eagles, 49ers, and Packers, Bears.
Right.
Rams, Panthers.
Which is no easy task, but in my mind, like, is it crazy to think that 5 seed, second place NFC West team beats 1 seed NFC West team in that game? No, I don't think it's crazy no matter what. And then all of a sudden, if you're the 2, you could be hosting whoever that is. You know, like it just. I mean, I guess you could be hosting.
I mean, those are
anyway.
wild matchups. I mean, Rams will be heavily favored, but Eagles, 49ers.
Look at those games, man.
Eagles, 49ers, Packers, Bears.
Packers are the 7 seed right now.
And are what, 9-5-1 because of their tie.
Right.
But they're dinged up and
then last night I'm watching that game. I'm like, oh my gosh, what if this ends in a tie? And then my not dream scenario, but the scenario I talk about all the time, people are like, that never happens, is the like 2 ties in a season, because ties count as 2/3 of a win. So 2 ties is better than winning 1 and losing 1 by NFL rules.
Right.
I think most people would argue that 2 ties is worse than winning 1, losing 1, but not when it comes to win percentage.
So, wow, what an NFC playoffs that's going to be. AFC, Broncos right now currently have the bye.
And as of right now, are the only team to have clinched a spot.
Right, which is wild. If New England wins, do they get the 1 seed? In like right now, would they be the 1 seed?
I don't know. I don't know how like the tiebreakers are weird when teams don't play each other.
So as of right now, these would be the AFC playoff matchups. New England hosting Houston.
I think New England would be heavily favored in that.
Jacksonville.
But it'll be interesting.
Jacksonville hosting Buffalo. And Pittsburgh hosting the Chargers.
Oh my goodness. Man, NFL is king, man. Sign me up.
Yeah, man, these playoffs are going to be electric. And this is a week after us being like, how good is this NFL season? Is it any good? Is it weird to not have a great team?
Exactly.
Maybe some of these teams are great. I don't know. I mean, that Rams-Seahawks game was awesome. If you get playoffs like that, the ratings will be bananas.
Yeah.
Imagine that game happening in January.
Losers done.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely absurd. So we'll see what happens. That's very, very interesting. All right. So
Steelers scored again, by the way.
Steelers scored again. Okay. So Jacksonville going to win. Looks like Atlanta going to win. I'm not going to say Steelers going to win yet because there's 6 minutes to play and Detroit has the ball. But they're up by 12, 2 possessions with 5:49 to play. Texans up by 2, 2-minute warning, have the ball. Not going to call that one yet either. So 2 games likely over, 2 games left to go. But we're going to move on. We're going to shift gears here and talk a little bit of we just went over the playoff outlook, and I didn't use my fancy screen with the Santa hats on our name. So sorry about that. Apologizing to me because I'm the one that spent the time making these things.
That was you.
Making these things and then didn't use them. Just decided to sit here and not throw up the stuff that I spend time to make. But so that was the playoff outlook. Just gonna be great, and I'm a Dolphins fan. Haven't had a lot to cheer for in January in a long time. But I'm very excited about those NFL playoff games. I will be. The NFL playoffs will make me very sad. It's not just because the Dolphins barely ever play in it. It's because I know that I don't get an unlimited slate of games, basically.
Right.
I have to sit and focus on one game, which is fine. But then every time one of those games ends, I know there's fewer and fewer games left.
I understand why they do it. I am not a fan of the playoff Monday night game. Not because of, it's short week, whatever. Like, I don't like that. But
it should start at 7.
Right. I'm not going to watch the whole thing unless it's the Eagles. But I'm not going to watch the whole thing. And that means there's one less of those crammed games. Like, when there's all those games, that first 2 weekends is awesome.
The worst is it
NFC Championship game?
No, I'm thinking divisional round. Well, conference championship sucks because it's just one game, or it's two games.
2 games.
And
That's
it's
it.
at like 3 and 6 or whatever, right?
Right.
So timing-wise, I'm okay with the timing-wise.
Oh, yeah,
but
timing-wise is
knowing
great.
that that's basically it, now there's only one game.
And then there's no game for 2 weeks. And
right.
It's just the one game.
But no, the divisional round, when it's is it the Sunday games that are like, are they also 3 and 6? I forget the timing on those.
I forget. It might be.
The playoffs are great, but also it's very bittersweet.
The light is at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, it
but the
is.
light is
It very much is. Yeah, and it's about to hit me. All right, so last thing I want to talk about, just these last 10 minutes before we go, because it is my favorite time of the year, and nothing gets me more excited than watching favorite Christmas specials. Justin, how many of those have you partake in over the years in terms and I'm talking like full-length feature, film variety, and TV specials. I guess I'm not really speaking TV episodes. Like I'm not talking about like a Friends episode around Christmas.
Right.
I'm talking about this was made specifically to watch during Christmas, like the old Rankin and Bass stuff, like The Year Without a Santa Claus and Santa Claus is Coming to Town, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
So I've seen Rudolph.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna. This is what we're gonna do. I've seen this. This is what I've seen.
I don't. Yes. Not many. I've seen some of them.
What are you doing,
Dude?
This is ridiculous.
I had this was one, and this is not Christmas related, but to give you an idea of how this goes, I had the conversation this week, and I also let you know that I've never played Oregon Trail.
Oh, I know. How are you a child of you grew up in the 90s? Like how? Like I don't. You have no proof. You have no proof that you grew up in the 90s. Bananas.
Oh man,
I really don't understand it at all. But all right, so of the ones you've seen, do you revisit any at this time of year? Do you watch anything with Austin and Colton? Are there any that Jamie wants to watch?
Like honestly, a bunch of the movies that the kids watch, Christmas movies wise, are like I say a bunch. They watch the same few over and over and over again.
Which
That's kind of Colton's MO. But
Gets super excited about one
thing.
thing.
So these are full length movies. Like these are Christmas movies, like Home Alone, right? So like I love Home Alone. I love Home Alone 1 and 2. I like 1 more than 2, but like I like 2. Colton likes 2 more than he likes 1.
Okay.
But that's okay. Colton will also watch any of them, but like he has really kind of gravitated towards the first 2.
Has he watched like 4, 5, and 6?
Yes.
Logan likes all
Yes,
those.
and I'm like, no.
Yeah,
no.
I've never seen 4,
I've
5, and
seen
6.
parts of some of them.
I've seen
he's had them
3,
all.
and I don't hate 3. Like some people, like it's only 1 and 2, and I'm like, it's only 1 and 2. Like Macaulay Culkin.
No, right.
And like, yeah, I don't
No,
want
I
to get
understand.
off on that. We
But
have
like,
very limited
right, yes,
time.
but 1 or 2, like
1 and 2 are fantastic.
Those are some of the ones. I introduced the boys had not seen Elf before this year.
Did they
so
like
we watched
it?
Elf, and
I feel like that'd be
Colton did not like
right
it at
up
first.
Austin's alley.
And then they enjoy Elf.
Okay.
They enjoy.
Yeah,
Elf.
we showed it to the girls for the first time 2 or 3 years
Jamie
ago.
says she does not like Elf, and I know she
lying.
She was listening. I don't know if
she's
still
a
is.
liar.
But I know she
Don't
laughs
lie,
at Elf.
Jamie.
She laughs at it, so she
Yeah.
is amused, even though she doesn't want to be.
So wait, is she not a Will Ferrell fan?
Oh no, dude, you know this. She is absolutely not a Will Ferrell fan.
Any others? Like, do you watch Christmas Vacation?
I like Christmas Vacation. Can't tell you the last time I watched it.
Okay.
I like it though. Like I like Christmas Vacation.
How about the Polar Express?
I like the Polar Express. We haven't watched that this year, but I like the Polar Express. I think the boys might have, but I did not. But like I like the Polar Express. When I was younger, I had the Polar Express, like the nice hardback book, and it had like the book on tape.
Yeah,
and like
well,
I could listen
we got
to
it
it.
on
Like,
CD. Yeah.
I really liked that when I was a kid. I enjoy Polar Express.
How about what else are we? Oh, the Santa Claus.
Santa Claus, Tim Allen. Haven't seen it in a while, but I like it. I know the boys have
Have you
watched
seen
that.
any of the sequels?
I saw 2 a long time ago. Haven't seen beyond that. And again, I remember at the time it was 1.
Number 1, the original is fantastic. It actually took me a long time to see 2 and 3. Like I'm talking probably around COVID or later for me to see the sequels. They just don't have the same. They kind of went too goofy for me.
Yeah.
And like I'll watch them. I don't know that I watched them last year, and I haven't watched them yet this year. Time's of the essence. But the original one is fantastic. But obviously, my favorite, bar none, is the Muppet Christmas Carol.
Okay, haven't seen it in a long time, but I have seen it and I do like it.
Justin, you do this to me anytime we talk. Well, when you said you didn't play Oregon Trail, I was like, what? You've never played Oregon Trail?
I mean, I've seen it.
So Muppet Christmas Carol is definitely my favorite of the bunch. But yeah, I mean,
What about Charlie Brown Christmas?
Good.
I
Honestly,
like Charlie Brown Christmas.
But
I haven't
honestly,
seen it in a
look,
long
and
time.
honestly, last night my parents got me a Charlie Brown Christmas sweatshirt for my birthday. They
Okay.
gave it to me last night, and they were about to say, I think of the three, the Christmas one is my least favorite of the three.
Okay.
That's not me saying it's bad,
No,
or that I
no.
don't like it.
Right.
I very much like
Right.
it and want to watch it every year. However, versus the Thanksgiving and Halloween ones, I think it's my third favorite.
I don't
of the
think
group.
Austin has watched them in a while, like any of them really. But I know when he was younger, he did not like some of the Charlie Brown ones because the kids are mean to Charlie Brown. Like,
Oh no,
and, like,
I
he
see that. We
doesn't,
we
like,
remark about that
right?
all the
He's
time.
like, he's like they're mean to
They're
him.
kind of a
like,
jerk, yeah.
right? Yeah.
Especially the Thanksgiving one.
Yes.
Peppermint Patty is
Yes,
just like inviting her over and then
yes.
bossing him around.
Yes.
And yeah. No, we've had that discussion with the girls. So one of the last ones here, Justin, and we can. I'll try to play with the thing I created. Look at that. Look at that. So, have you ever seen Jingle All the Way?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so
but
you're familiar.
it's probably been 20 years since I've seen Jingle.
Okay,
All the Way.
yeah, it had been a few years for me as well. I did watch it this year. I don't know if I'll get to see it again, but look at that. I have you as Elf, Jamie's favorite. I hope she's watching. to
Yes,
see it.
exactly. Yeah,
Perfect. But no, my favorite is the Muppet Christmas Carol, and of course, a lot of nostalgia and sentimentality are wrapped around the Christmas shows and specials and whatnot. But Muppet is my favorite, and over the last few years, it's been great to find people who review literature or movies and say that it's one of the most accurate ever made in terms of sticking to Dickens and his prose and what was written. And obviously because it's a movie and it's a movie aimed at kids, they had to change a bunch and they left out some of the more creepier parts, especially a few of the side characters. But that was always fun for me, seeing people on social media that know way more about Charles Dickens and A Christmas Carol than I do say that it's one of the best ever made, because I always felt that way, but that was just because I enjoyed it so much.
No, I'm a big fan. I like that. I got a couple here that were texted to me.
Okay.
Miracle on 34th Street.
So original or remake?
So I like the original more, I think, than the remake, but I like the remake. But I like the original one more.
Okay.
White Christmas, I've seen it once.
I've seen it once as well.
And honestly, it was better than I anticipated. When I say
Okay.
I saw it once, I'm talking in the last handful of years. It was the first time I saw it. It's a Wonderful Life. It's a Wonderful Life. So here we go. When I was younger, I couldn't stand it. It's so long.
It's very long, yeah.
But like honestly, last year, through a group, I kind of like did this like study on it through like a small group that we're in, and at church they kind of talked about it a little bit, just kind of as like a topic, starter kind of thing, and it kind of changed the way. And I was like, oh, so like I have a different appreciation for it. Also, I watched a couple years ago on Netflix. They have one that's called like The Five That Come Back or something like that. It's one of their specials, one of their documentaries, and it's about these filmmakers, including the guy who made It's a Wonderful Life. But they talk about these guys who basically got drafted or pulled into military service to go make videos, and it talked about how it's a good documentary. It's interesting, and it talks about how like they wanted them to make propaganda and they wouldn't do it, but they didn't want to like be like they didn't want to like do disservice, but they didn't want to be like, no, I'm not making that. Like that's not accurate, but it also just it talked about how It's a Wonderful Life was kind of like his idea of like, man, this kind of like messed up a lot of people, which again is something we talk about now, and honestly still maybe not enough about like people in those situations coming home from war. But like at the time, that was not something that they talked about.
Bring up, no.
So I have a different view on that movie now. That was
Sure.
a long answer to. I have a much different view on that movie now than I did even a couple years ago. But first time I saw it was when I was a kid. And I just couldn't do it.
I understand. I
didn't get it. Like I didn't get it when I was a kid. Now I have a different appreciation for what a lot of that movie means.
It took a long time for me to finally see it in its full in one sitting, and it's something I do want to revisit. I haven't seen it in a few years, all at once. What about? So this is one that is one of the few ones I'm not on board with, which is A Christmas Story.
Okay, so
it's
okay.
It's not for me.
It's
not,
okay.
Not
It's not going to make my list of like top ones. It would be more of there was a time and this time is not now that we have kids, but like there was a time where like, oh, it being on in the background, like because TBS or whatever would have it on like 24 hours. Like that was more of a nostalgic moment that it was on more so than the movie itself.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Yep. No, I get it.
And then trying to think, I felt like there was no one. What about Die Hard? No.
So we're out of time for a discussion diving into that, Justin. Honestly, I flip-flop on that one because I understand it. I don't know if it being set at Christmas time is enough to make it a Christmas movie, but there's a lot of Christmas flavor throughout that movie.
Yes.
It's hard for me. Like, I'm not into horror at all.
Okay.
So the ones that do like Krampus and things like that, that is not ever my thing.
Nightmare Before Christmas. What are your thoughts?
See,
I don't know that I've ever watched the whole thing the whole way through. It's not my thing.
It's not my thing either. Tim Burton stuff is kind of odd to me. I've never been a huge fan of that kind of production. I know my nephew loves Nightmare Before Christmas.
Colton likes those.
But I don't think I've ever sat down and watched it all the way through.
Yeah,
but I always tended to think that was more of a Halloween movie.
I agree.
But I don't know. We'll see. But the original Grinch is I wouldn't call it a top favorite of mine, but I always want to watch it. We mentioned Charlie Brown Christmas. There's a whole bunch of random ones that we taped off the television and watched when I was younger that a lot of people like I talked to never have heard it, but now I've started showing it to my daughters, like the 12 Days of Christmas, this animated version of that, or Blue Toes the Christmas Elf. People look at me like I'm crazy when I mention some of these specials
I've never
from the 80s and 90s. I did not expect you to see that one. It's not like we're talking about Santa Claus is coming to town, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, The Year Without a Santa Claus, like those things that I feel like you've at least heard of.
Right.
Kelly does not like those. She is not a Rankin and Bass. She doesn't like the claymation style, puppet type. That stuff is not her thing. So I watch that with the girls without her. But it's my favorite. I've been watching Christmas specials since October, so that is probably no surprise to Justin. Maybe a surprise to some other people listening now. But I've been watching Christmas stuff since October, just honestly because if I don't, I will not see everything that I want to because I watch so much stuff. And the ones that we've been talking about here, I'm not talking about like the Hallmark ones. I'm talking about the ones here I will watch multiple times leading up to Christmas.
One that I saw this year that I had not seen before was Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Haven't seen that.
Which was Christmas. And to be honest, it grew on me a little bit. Listen, it's not going to be like on my list of like top ones, but I'm like, oh, this is all right. And the boys, I say the boys. Colton really enjoys it. I think Austin probably enjoys it more than he would let on. But it's probably not going to be what he picks. Actually, I know it won't be what he picks, but Colton really enjoys it, and it's cool.
Well, Natalie read those books a few years ago. I think Haley maybe has dabbled with them too. Logan's big into it right now. Kern was just talking to me about Logan enjoying Diary of a Wimpy Kid. So, all good stuff. Have you seen the Christmas Chronicles on Netflix?
No.
Very good. I think you would like that one. It's 2018, more modern, very good.
I feel like there's some Christmas ones that I'm just not thinking of, but like, I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah,
that's definitely one to
honestly
to check
Christmas movies. Like if I had to rank it, this might be up there with like in terms of like the genres or like classifications of things where I've seen some. Like
that one's closer to the top.
I feel like if we would have had to pick a number, we would have hit the over on ones that I've seen for this.
Yeah, well, we could do an entire show if we didn't come back from Bulldog Hour and want to talk NFL and crazy college football stuff. We could have had an entire episode dedicated to Christmas television shows, specials, and movies because I love talking and watching them. So,
my mom said not a single Hallmark movie mentioned, and I'm like, well, yeah, but if you've seen one, you've seen them all.
But that was by design because I have seen all of them, and there are some that I would enjoy, but. You're right. They're very formulaic. It's fine. Like they are what they are. And Kelly and I watch all of them every year. We watch all of them. Just because we enjoy the season so much, and that season for us starts pretty early, which Justin is well aware of.
Right, and I used to be like, "Oh, what are you doing?" Now I'm much more of the, "Hey, if it brings joy, go ahead." Like that's fine.
Well, that's where we're at, and we've been at that for a while, and the girls are all on board, and they were Kelly included, we're putting up the tree November 1st because it was a Saturday, you know, right after Halloween. And Kelly's not a big Halloween person. So when it gets
you got me. I'm not either. We've had that discussion.
When that's over, and every time she says that, even though I know that, it always surprises me. I'm always like, "What? You don't like Halloween?" Now we don't go crazy into Halloween. Like we don't have entire skeletons and things like that.
No.
I mean, I enjoy it. It's just look, the months get better and better starting August 1st.
July's the best month, man.
Everything just rises
and
steadily.
This year, everything's gonna be saturated with World Cup coverage for you.
God.
Like this is your.
Nothing's worse than January and February though. So we're about the drop off from September, October, November, December to January, February is god awful. I finally understand seasonal depression when it comes to this stuff because January and February are just a disaster. A disaster. I apologize to my nephew, my daughter, maybe a little bit to Corinne too, that their birthdays are in January. I honestly say, you're probably lucky that it's in January because that's about all you have to look forward to is other people's birthdays. What else is happening in January that is any good? It's cold and dark and snowy. And
come full circle. It's not the Dolphins. We know that.
Yeah, it's not the Dolphins playing in January. That's for sure. So, all right. Well, we went over time. I knew we probably would, but that's okay. We're going to head out of here, close episode 427, and actually we won't be back for 2 weeks. We will not have a show next week as we'll take time to spend with family at the holidays. We'll be back in 2 weeks on my sister's birthday, January 4th, 2026, for episode 428, where we will be talking at length about week 18 in the NFL and really know what's happening for the playoff picture. So anything else you wanted to add, Justin?
Just real quick. I had received a text on this too. Penn State set the record for dual match victories.
Yes.
But yeah, great time of year. Hopefully people get to enjoy. And yeah.
All right. Well, once again, happy birthday to my dad. Happy early birthday to my cousin Christine, a Christmas baby, and happy birthday to Coach Steve O'Neill, celebrating, I believe, on New Year's Eve. His Broncos didn't get the game today, but are one of the favorites in the AFC. So yeah, he's got a lot to look forward to with his Denver Broncos and an upcoming birthday.
Oh, and the future's bright too.
Right.
They're looking good.
Covering 2 weeks is always tough. I can't remember everyone, but we actually will be back in time to wish Logan and my sister a birthday again, 1 day late for Logan, but on my sister's birthday. So we'll give them more shout outs again in 2 weeks. But I hope everyone has a wonderful Christmas if you're celebrating. Same thing with New Year's. Be safe, have fun. Hope you get everything you want. Hope you get to see a lot of friends and family. Hope you get time to relax and enjoy. And Justin and I will be back in 2 weeks to talk more sports, especially what's going on in the NFL. So until next time, we'll see you real soon. Happy holidays.
That's a wrap on this episode of the Joe Mays and J-Raff Show, brought to you by Mays Sandwich Shop. Woo-hoo! You can watch each weekly episode live on Facebook, Periscope, or YouTube. Be sure to like, follow, or subscribe to the show on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, and Google Play. You can also rate and review us on many of these platforms as well. We'd love to hear from you. Send your emails to the Mays Sandwich Shop inbox at joemaysandjraff@gmail.com. The Joe Mays and J-Raff Show is a part of the JMNJR Radio Network, home to other productions such as The Bulldog Hour, Tangents with Friends, and Nat Chats with Dad. Until next time.